Yo, we are seeing Scree playing for the Arabs
Oh,
and no DX.
no DX.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
I could imagine that DX is going to get subbed in at halftime. So yeah.
By the way, fun fact: it's actually pronounced secret, not Scree.
Really?
We'll just keep it Scree because
Oh,
you
okay.
can understand us, but it's actually pronounced secret.
I mean, it's an Arabian name, and the Arabian names, like, even being able to read them is kind of difficult sometimes. So yeah, let me adjust the scoreboard real quick so that we have the player names on the scoreboard. We have Need Pit, we have Archer, we have Shotzi, and we have Angel GG. And for Saudi Arabia, we have HFC,
Okay, they're starting. Let's go.
IOREP, Scree, and I think it's Doom, if I remember correctly. Yeah, for simplicity's sake, we are just going to say Scree, because that makes it easier.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Okay, here we have the updated names on the scoreboard, so that we know who's going to play.
Yeah. Good luck to both teams. Let's go.
Yeah, this is going to be a very interesting match, because I know the Mexican team, especially 666cc, they are very strong players and they are a very strong team. They've been playing together for so many months, and the same can be said about the Arabian players. Like, many of the Arabian top players are in BBK, and we are going to see some great teamwork here for sure.
It's a nice
Android
track, like,
Alley.
like, it's a like slow paced track, nothing too chaotic.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect start. Perfect start.
But then again, one thing that I'm noticing is that the checkered starting pattern was violated. I guess nobody did really care, but yeah. HSC pulling out that bomb as a first item roll, it's such a good roll. Like, getting a bomb as your first item is just so good, because you can just take anyone out who's in your path. Like, it doesn't even matter if that person is ahead of you or if he's behind you. Like, you can just take anyone out with a bomb at the start. And we've seen HFC doing it. He gets another bomb, but unfortunately gets bombed himself, which isn't really too bad considering his teammates already have top 2, so they can just backspam and keep the people in the back so that HFC can basically get back into the game.
But great play by the Mexicans, because they just waited for him to pass the turbo pad.
Yeah, yeah.
To hit him at the
Yeah.
optimal place. So great plays by the Mexicans.
Yeah, that's a very simple strategy, but it's something that most teams actually go for. If you want to hit someone at the start of Android Alley, you usually wait until they have passed the Sacred Fire pad, because then they go without Sacred Fire for almost an entire lap, basically. And it's a really good move. It's a very simple move. Like, it's really not a science or anything. Like, you just wait until someone has passed the turbo pad, and then you just bomb him. Like, yeah.
But many are not patient. Many are not patient.
Yeah, many aren't patient. That's true, I guess. And again, Neatpit is approaching with a mask, and a mask on Android Alley is a pretty good item because you can catch up like pretty easily. Actually, it makes you a lot faster, and there's no blue fire on this track, so having a mask really helps you catch up on that track.
A strong item on Android.
Yeah. And again, HFC in third place. The third place has the highest chance to roll shields, and of course, HFC already has a shield, and he has a bomb in storage, which is pretty much ideal, because if anyone actually gets close to him and takes the shield away, he can just back bomb that person, and then the person's gonna be gone. So yeah, HFC is in a pretty good spot now, because he can basically defend himself against anything, although he hits the beaker because he's careless. So yeah, that.
So many players have shields at the same time. It's
Yeah.
so weird. Like, again, a shield.
Yeah, we are seeing a lot of shields here actually.
Goodness.
Like, oh, HFC with a double shield even.
What the? Okay. This is definitely a shield match.
Yeah, I guess the top 4 is gonna be.
Angel had a green shield. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay. This is so weird.
Yeah, I guess the top 3 is gonna be very defensive here, since they all have shields, so we will, like, I mean, I guess from Needpit's perspective, like, he doesn't have to deal with backspam, since they all have shields, but then again, for him, it's also very difficult to approach them now, because they're all protected, and he can't really do much. Like, that missile is probably going to get that player in 3rd place, but that's really as far as it goes. And if Doom has a weapon here... Oh, he has a crazy orb. Wow.
And he gets another shield, but he couldn't use it. Had no time to use it, unfortunately.
Those item rolls.
Those shield rolls, man.
Yeah.
This match will go in the history as the shield match.
Another shield.
Another shield.
Wow. Okay, I mean...
What the
I guess it is like that sometimes. Then again, HFC has really good item rolls. Like, whenever he has a shield, he either gets another shield or a bomb, which is the ideal combination. It's just really fucking good, because you can protect yourself against basically anything.
A strong combination.
He probably won't really need it, and he didn't even need it for the majority of the race, but still, it's always good to keep it. Yeah, this was mostly a very defensive race, because so many people had shields and there weren't many interactions happening, and like at least in the top half there wasn't really much going on besides that warp orb. So yeah, this was a very defensive race for sure.
This was the infamous shield race.
Judging by the player positions, we can assume that Scree probably kept all the players from Mexico in the back, since there wasn't really anyone catching up back again or like breaking into the top 4. Like, it was all just dominated by the Saudi Arabian players. So we can assume that Scree probably managed to keep them in the back. But then again, the top 3 also had a lot of shields, so they were pretty good protected on their own anyway. Yeah, this is a strong top 3 for the Saudi Arabian team. Definitely well played. The start was really good from them.
But I still don't understand why DX is not playing with them. Which is practice. Like,
Yeah, maybe they don't see it. Maybe they will sub him in for later tracks. Maybe he's stronger on those tracks that come later on. It could be anything really.
But next up we have like the exact opposite of Android Alley, Tiny Temple.
Yeah, Android Alley is usually a pretty tame track. There isn't really much going on usually. It's a very straightforward track. But Tiny Temple is pretty much the exact opposite. Tiny Temple, for a long time I thought it had the fastest blue fire in the game. The track with the fastest blue fire is actually DSD. It's not Tiny Temple. I was convinced otherwise, but the Tiny Temple blue fire is still ridiculously fast compared to other blue fire tracks. And yeah, the fact that the blue fire on this track is so friggin' fast, yeah, that creates a lot of balance issues, and if you get hit after the SDP, things look very rough for you. I mean, we can safely assume that the strategy for both of these teams is going to take players out after they pass the SDP. Like, that's basically all that the track revolves around, taking players out, either on the SDP or after they pass the SDP. Because the bad respawn point. Yeah, the bad respawn point. And losing blue fire is guaranteed at least 20 seconds gone. So losing blue fire here means you are out. Actually out.
Yo, need be trying like to go wide, but still hit bombs, so unfortunate for him.
Yeah, going wide on Tiny Temple is something that a lot of more players have started to do. Because Tiny Temple is one of those tracks where you usually always get hit at the start. There's a set of boxes right at the beginning, and it's just so easy for enemies to hit you. we see we see HFC actually exploding instantly because he took a TNT and he ran into another TNT as he uh, jumped on the shortcut. And wow, that was a really good shield snipe from HFC there.
Nice one, nice
That
one.
was a really nice one. Yeah, sniping people with shields. Also a very good reaction there. If he had hit that BK, he would have fallen down and respawned after the SDP, and that would have been fatal.
Okay, we are seeing Nitby with some interesting play. He tries to get HFC.
And he hits the
Oh,
fire.
no,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, hitting the fire there is something that a lot of people do. Like, when you jump down to the fire, it can be difficult sometimes to see what side the fire is on. So yeah, people just tend to hit the fire because, especially if there's an item somewhere, it's just very difficult to evade. Like, there's just not enough space. And yeah, unfortunately, Needpit runs into the fire, which also means that it's gonna be very difficult for him to really impact the race now. Then again, HFC also hits the fire. And wait, is it Archer who hits the beacon? Wow, it's actually crazy how many obstacles and items these players are hitting. Like,
yeah, a lot of things going on, and seems to get both plays and hitting the HFC.
yeah, this corner right there at the end, we see HFC approaching the corner from a wide angle, which is pretty good because, like, there's usually always an item tied there. The SDP is a very popular spot for items to place on, simply because if you fall down, you respawn behind the SDP and there's no chance to get blue fire back. So yeah, the SDP is usually just cluttered with items all around.
Especially Nitros and Green Beacon.
Yeah, especially Nitros, and most dangerously of all, red beakers. Like, red beakers on the SDP are just destructive.
We are seeing like constantly like the players switching the flames actually.
Yeah. Yeah, switching the flames is something that a lot of people actually don't do on Tiny Temple, but like, usually players, like most players, approach Tiny Temple like this. They jump down, they see what side the fire is on, and then in the next lap they go for the same side where they think the fire wouldn't be. But then someone switched the fire and they're gonna run into it. Like, if you switch the fire, like, you can be sure that someone is going to run into the fire and lose blue fire.
Okay.
Yeah, this was a pretty good race from both sides. Actually, it was a pretty tight race. We've seen a few misplays from both sides. We've also seen some good plays from both sides. So this race was rather close, actually. Okay, let me enter the points. You see screen, third place, Doom winning. IORAP unfortunately wasn't able to do much. HFC also, he took some unnecessary items in his path. Also hitting fire once, unfortunately. So that was definitely the moment when the Mexican team started to catch back up again.
You can definitely use the fire switching like to your own advantage, but not many people are doing it because
Yeah.
it's actually a bit difficult to use it if you have a USF.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Now we're seeing Paco Spira. It's a very fun track to watch. Especially the beginning, first lap. It's crazy what's happening the first part.
Yes, this match will get uploaded on YouTube. I will upload it to my channel. Actual competitive CTR, yes. Why not go left and assume the fire is always on that side? Because it's not always left. That's just what it is. People switch the fire around, and you just kind of have to adapt when you play Tiny Temple. Like, people may have changed the fire, and people also may have trapped one of the paths. So you have to be very careful.
my tactic is while I'm airborne, I'm looking at the right side and try
Mm,
to look for a flame. If there's no flame, that's
mm,
it. I know that's
mm,
free. If I see
mm,
flame, then I go to the left side. But
mm.
it's easily said than done, to be honest, because you're just too fast sometimes.
There's
It's
one
not so easy.
strategy that I personally do that basically nobody else does, is you jump down and then you use slowdown. And by you slowing down, you can just
Yeah,
wait for the
let's
cycle.
go.
It's
Oh,
something it's
personal
something
foul.
that I also use on DSD, for example. I just slow down to see the blade cycle, and that's something that a
Let's
lot of
go.
people don't do.
I'm
Like
stealing
just
your tactic from now, man.
yeah, slowing down to wait for cycles is something we are going to see more in the future. But for now, people don't really use it. But we are this is definitely going to become the meta at some point.
Mm. We are seeing a complete mayhem, like
Yeah,
always. First lap,
it's Papa's
the pyro
pyramid.
is always crazy. It's always crazy.
Papa's pyramid with its very early set of item crates is always a bit of a mayhem at the start. We've seen nobody really going for the unintended shortcut here. It doesn't even save much time, but it's a lot harder than the standard hairpin
Mm.
there. So yeah. We actually see the Arabian players in top 4 right now, which is a pretty good start from them, and Papa's Pyramid is one of those tracks where catching up is generally difficult, I feel like.
I mean, not always, but usually the first two players they break off to
Yeah,
they're having like a big distance,
yeah,
a big lead. That's why, but
yeah.
it's not always the case.
One big issue on Papa's Pyramid is basically if you have two players from your team or from the enemy team in the top two, they can do combo backspam. And the issue with combo backspam is that they can trap the spiral completely. Like you have no way to pass the spiral if they do effective
Mm.
combo backspam. Like if one plays a nitro tight, one plays a nitro white, you're gonna hit one of those.
Mm.
And also HSC should, yeah, he should shoot his shield away, but instead he just
Yeah,
hits his own
that was
teammate.
unnecessary.
That's an unnecessary loss. Like he should have definitely shot that shield away, considering he was about to lose it anyway. And yeah, he lost it with a team kill.
Yeah, and as I
And
just mentioned,
wow, did HFC just get cross
he just
section hit?
what?
Wow, he got hit by someone who passed the finish line with a mask. That's insane. Like a cross section hit is so it's funny when it happens, but it's so rare.
It's so rare, yes. But we are still seeing top.
For anyone who's not aware, cross-section hits are allowed. Like, you are not allowed to hit players that have overlapped you, but cross-section hits are allowed. So there's no breaking of rules here. Oh, we see HFC in God mode. He had the lingering bubble effect. It's kinda interesting.
Yeah, it's a strong win for the Arabs.
Yeah, it's a strong win for the Arabs. Like, they got an early lead and then kept holding on to it.
Yeah, that's the issue with Papus.
And
Top two are
also
usually
Mask
like
in fourth, yeah, fourth place Mask, one of the rarest idol rolls in the game. It's a 1% chance, and yeah. A fourth place Mask on Papa's Pyramid
devastating.
can take players out. Like, if you use it well, then you can just take out everyone in your path. Especially Papa's Pyramid, if it's like somewhere at a spiral. You generally don't have much room to really evade anything on Papa's Pyramid. It's a very narrow track for the most part. There's few sections where you can go wide, like really wide.
And we saw like many players not taking the like yeah, first official shortcut, let's call it, because the grass cut is not official.
Mm.
Like they didn't use it because yeah, they feared that they would like get hit by an item.
Mm.
That was weird. I didn't see that before in the first lap. They were all avoiding the first shortcut.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, it really depends on, like, there's some tracks where you don't want to take certain shortcuts simply because of the risk of hitting something. Dragon Mines is a very good example. Dragon Mines as well. You know, Dragon Mines with the rails shortcut. It's such a narrow path, and many people just opt to not go for the shortcut entirely, simply because there might be an item there.
This is smart decision.
And it's a smart move for sure.
Yeah, next up we have Prehistoric Playground. I'm looking
read
forward
out
to
really quick.
those viral fails. We will see them for sure. I'm 100% sure.
Yeah.
At least one of the players will fail because it's so inconsistent.
It depends. Ever since the track got patched in March, the spiral is a lot more consistent. I've had races where I got it all 5 laps. It's really just it takes
I fall down sometimes. I fall down, you know, like
yeah,
like
it takes.
It's supposed to be like the road, and I fall down.
Yeah.
Like, give me a break, game.
You need to hit a certain spot, and but if you know where that spot is, it's 100% consistent. It's really just practice. Like most stuff in the game is just practice, and many people don't really put the time into practice. So yeah.
But yeah, we will still see some spiral.
I mean,
let's go.
Neepit is starting in first place. If he rolls a shield there, okay, he rolls turbo canister, but basically on prehistoric playground, if you get a shield early, then you can just basically break away and try to secure first place. Unfortunately,
Doom, but unfortunately
yeah.
didn't manage to play, so.
Yeah. Neatbit actually tried to slow down there to hit Doom, but the boost effect ran out before he was able to actually squish Doom. We also see HFC got hit by the mask pretty early on, but he went backwards to get Blue Fire back. I don't think it was really worth the trade since he's so far behind now anyway. And the difference between a Sacred Fire Lab and a Blue Fire Lab is not worth it really to go back. But then again, it's just my opinion. It's really just personal preference.
Questionable decision because I was doing that too, and I had the same feeling as you just mentioned.
Yeah, you usually end up losing more time than you really gain from that.
Uy, hay una posición cerrada ahí en el cornering.
Le llevo 3 nitros. Voy a dejar una nitro cerrada en el cornering antes de.
We are actually seeing a Mexican all in the first place. That's nice.
I think that's Archer probably. Let me check the. Yes, that's Archer in first place there, and also Neatpit in 4th place. Neatpit is not taking the time trial spiral. Unfortunately, hits the wall and gets punished for it. Like, yeah, it's especially unfortunate considering he had a shield and storage, and he doesn't even go for the Wumpa crate here.
Yeah, he messed it. Yeah.
He definitely made some questionable decisions there. Like, after he lost fire, he should have just used his shield instinctively, simply because, you know, the fear of someone approaching. So yeah, him getting hit there is definitely deserved, since he just fucked up.
Yeah, he didn't use his shield.
Yeah, and he lost fire in first place, so.
Maybe he had no minimap awareness because maybe he didn't know that someone is behind him, the enemy team.
And also this missile, yeah. Those are wonderfully timed. Those missiles by Scree, very well timed. Like, a lot of people, when they have 3 missiles, they are firing all 3 missiles at once. And that's a mistake, because if you get hit by a missile, you have a short time window of invincibility frames. And if you shoot 3 missiles at once, then the first missile is going to hit the shield, and then you have invincibility frames, and the second and third missile aren't gonna do anything. But these missiles, they were slightly delayed, and so they actually managed to hit Neatpit. So that's a very important detail to pay attention to. That was a very good missile usage there by Scree.
Hay una nitro en el.
Ya me mataron a mí. Fuck.
En la última caja de Gumpas hay una nitro, ¿va?
Okay.
Neatbit with the mask in 6th place. But then again, if we look at the minimap, we see that Neatbit isn't really close to anyone. Like, he's close to his own teammate. But of course, using that mask here wouldn't really benefit him in any way, since he would at most overtake his own teammate, which wouldn't really change anything except his own points, but it wouldn't matter for the team. But then again, we also see one of the players. Wow, why did he turn back? Only to get squished. that's a misplay in my opinion. Like that's a complete misplay. Like that was just unnecessary. He just wasted the position.
You're actually seeing Orban coming. This could actually change something.
Nah, it won't really change anything anymore because it's the last lap.
Yep.
Yeah, like this win, then again, BBK, the Saudi Arabian team with 2, 3, 4, which means it's a guaranteed win. I guess it's deserved. Like we've seen some misplays from the Mexican team here that definitely contributed to them losing that race. Like they had winning positions for a while, but they just threw them away.
Oh my fucking. Cinco, ¿no?
And we saw like Nitpit actually doing a mistake for going too safe on the spirals.
Yeah,
Que no
yeah.
mató a nadie, que es lo peor. Creo que ya todos tenían bublis.
It goes both ways. We are actually at half-time now, half-time break. So I'm curious to like the changes they will do now because luckily, unfortunately, we are not seeing any lag issues. So
yeah, it's actually running pretty well considering the distance of those two countries. We don't really see any desync or teleporting or glaring lag issues like bad movement interpolation and stuff. Like it's running actually really well considering the distance.
Yeah.
That's true.
I don't expect that they will like change the host, but maybe Mexico could actually sub someone.
I could imagine that Scree is maybe going to sub out for DX maybe. It could be, maybe he will just stay in and everything is going to continue as normal. But we see the lobby disband, which indicates that there's definitely going to be a lineup change here. So it's gonna be interesting to see what players they're going to pick now, since we've arrived at halftime.
Dharma, music,
Wow. Okay, so for anyone who doesn't know, this was Maddie with the robotic voice.
Give us some music, please.
some music. Let's listen to a banger.
Give us some music, DJ.
Yeah, we are waiting now for the lobby to build up again. The players are allowed to have a 5-minute break, so yeah. Let's hope they don't go over that period. So far it's looking pretty good for the Saudi Arabian players. They have a 34-point lead. Yes, it's 5 normal minutes and not 5 Colombian minutes. Like 5 Colombian minutes would just take too long.
Okay, I need to just mention that apparently the Arabs are lagging. I mean, from HFC's perspective, like we didn't see any lag, any desync items.
Yeah, we didn't see it from Nipit's perspective either, really. I mean, I guess there's more desync than usual because the countries are just far away from each other, but the connection itself seems pretty stable. So yeah, I don't know exactly, but then again, they are allowed to change the host for any reason really. So if Nipit wants to host, then he can basically just host himself. Like the rules allow that.
I wonder if anyone in the chat noticed the crash font.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that everyone noticed the crash font. Yeah, we've been working on the layout. We have other changes coming up when it comes to commentary. There's gonna be more changes, but we are going to reveal them when it's time for that. But there's more coming up. We have definitely planned out some more things. We have a group of commentators now, and yeah, some things are going to change. I can tell that at least.
So stay tuned, guys.
Yeah, stay tuned for more changes. It's gonna be epic, it's gonna be hype.
Let's go. We're having some difficulties here with setting up this lobby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I really hope that Twitch isn't going to mute my VOD simply because I'm playing video game music. But yeah.
If it mutes if it mutes you, it doesn't mute like your whole video. It just
Yeah, it's only the part
yeah,
with the music.
section,
Yeah. Yeah, imagine muting your bot because you're playing the in-game music. Yeah, that's unlikely. I think so as well. Because, like, if they played Slide Coliseum, you would hear the same sound as right now, so...
Yeah, of course, like...
Okay, as we can see, there's actually no lineup change. Everything is continuing as it is right now. I guess they are feeling confident in their lineups. And yeah.
I mean, I would be confident too. They played very well so far.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the Saudi Arabian team is definitely playing well, so... And yeah. Then again, we have to see how the second half is going to go. I mean, everything can still change. Like, obviously, the Mexican team is at a disadvantage, and it's not a small disadvantage either. It's a big disadvantage. Like 34 points is a lot for only 4 races left. But then again, as I said, everything can still change. Like, they could change everything after 2 races, basically. So, yeah. The next track coming up is Engine Labs. Yeah, I'm still not sure what to think about Engine Labs in terms of competitive play. I think it's...
better pay attention to what they're doing in the beginning so they can like break off.
Yeah.
Secure like some winning positions.
I mean, I think Engine Labs is really bland in terms of competitive play. It's just very straightforward. It's very simple. It's not really exciting in my opinion. So it really just comes down to what kind of item plays you're going to make. Like if you use your items well, then you definitely have the upper hand on that track.
HFC with smart plays, going for the Wumpa and getting a mask after that.
Yeah.
Pete was going very fast, nice lines, but unfortunately he got bombed in the end, so he needed to play some.
Yeah, and HFC is going ham with that mask. Like a mask so early on Engine Labs is just very very destructive. It's just you can take anyone in your path just out. I mean, then again, the blue fire loss on Engine Labs is not really the end of the world. It's just it's a minor time loss actually. Losing blue fire on Engine Labs means you only lose like about 4 seconds, 5 seconds. I mean, if you get hit, it's like 2 seconds more, but yeah, it's not the end of the world, generally speaking. Then again, for Team Mexico, it's already looking pretty rough because HSC is in first place with a blue shield, which means he is protected against anything, and if he doesn't make any mistakes, it's gonna be really difficult to catch up to him.
Yeah, I mean he has decent lead and plus a blue shield, so
Yeah.
it's not so good. I mean I saw the fourth Arab like hitting a green beaker, but yeah, like Scree managed to get fourth, so they didn't
I
lose
mean,
really anything.
I guess it's kind of an advantage for Neatpit and Archer here, because they can be sure like there's no backspam or anything, because HSC has blue shield, he's not going to shoot that shield away, so there won't be. Oh wow, that was a really good back bomb. Wow,
nice
hitting
one,
Scree.
let's go.
That's a very nice back bomb use. Like we really need to see more of those in general. Like people just they don't use rare cam, they don't use back bombs. Like there's so few people who actually actively use the rare cam and bomb people back. Like even backwards missiles are kind of rare in general, and this right there, that was a really good back bomb.
But if I'm not mistaken, the problem with back missiles is like it has to happen like in a wide area. Like
Yeah, you can only do it in a wide area. That's true. There's only a handful spots. I mean, it's more than a handful, but there aren't that many spots where you can actually back missile people.
We are
There's
seeing the Mexican with the winning positions now, but
Yeah.
definitely deserve because of like Neatpit's sick back bomb.
Yeah.
Let's go
Yeah.
Neatpit. Hermano.
that back bomb basically ended Scree. Like Scree's in last place now, and
that ended his career.
you really have to capitalize on those hits. Like that back bomb basically brought the Mexican players who were behind Scree definitely back into the game. Yeah, it was a really good back bomb for sure.
And the Mexicans are having shields, so this
Yeah.
will most likely stay
I mean, from here on, the race is gonna be very defensive since it's last lap and everyone has shields, so there's nothing really going to happen anymore. There also doesn't need to be anything happening anymore because the Saudi Arabian players are bottom 3. HSC is in the lead in first place, but then again, all other positions are basically occupied by the Mexican team.
So
Oh no,
this
it's
will be
actually
a nice
Scree
win.
Scree is actually 7th, okay, but it's still a nice win for Team Mexico, if only by 1 point.
Yeah, last place was actually held by Mexico.
Yeah, I didn't see the minimap correctly, but yeah.
No la ganamos por un punto, ¿no? Garma comenta la epic bomb de Midpits. Let's go.
Neta.
Yo, Opels, Haitam. Yeah, I don't speak Arabic,
We don't speak Arabic.
but yeah, I hope you enjoy watching, I guess. I can't really say much about what you wrote because I don't speak Arabic.
Maisal is loving your voice, man.
Yeah, he has told me that already.
Let's go. I will try Google Translate for the Arabic. Let's go
Así como no.
Arabic.
Oh,
The first one is a
no me da
greet,
crédito por
most
nada,
likely
güey.
something like hi.
Supermotor,
Let's check
güey,
it
así
out.
que no, güey, así.
The first is first thing he wrote is like translated to "do you,"
Ok, viene
And
Ginger.
then-
Okay.
let's translate
Aquí
the
igual yo hago
second
la
one.
cerda, güey.
So we have "do you,"
Bueno, pues.
Y que Ángel la cosa.
since you do in 2 ways.
What?
You
Yo agarro cajita pero me abro.
okay, I love you too, Maisa. Thanks, man. We all love each other.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't really rely on Google Translate for that matter. It's just not gonna work out. It's
I think that he wanted to ask for how long we are doing this, you know, that this commentary like 2 point of view, something like that. I think that's what he wanted.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry, but I just can't read Arabic, and yeah, if you wanna ask me something, just ask me in English or German or French if you want to. But yeah.
Creo que si nos va mal en esta. nos
I mean,
vamos
my
a-
handwriting looks like Arabic, but it's not Arabic, so.
El RNG de los pingüinitos así cuando recién los usas está OP, güey.
Cuando recién los usa.
Güey, neta, güey.
Sí, está chido el RNG de los pingüinitos.
Okay, so next up we have Gingerbread Joyride. Such a
Yeah,
beautiful track, man.
Gingerbread Joyride.
Sockside.
Let's go.
Ah, no. No es Gingerbread.
I mean, yeah, Mexico has to step up their gameplay. We have yet to see any strong wins from Mexico. It's mostly just the Saudi Arabian team who just gets all the points per race. And yeah, Mexico, if they are winning at all, they are only winning by a handful of points. And like you can't claim the win if you only win by like 2 or 3 points every single race. And you have to get those big fat wins with like 10 points and stuff, you know. So yeah, if the Mexican team wants to win, they really have to step up their gameplay.
We are seeing a nice nitpick. We are seeing some smart play from him.
I mean, I can understand Needpit's idea, I guess, but slowing down that much in terms of like actually braking, I think it's kind of unnecessary because you could just like slow it down a little bit. Because he's now so far behind that this mask is not really useful, especially since he didn't even juice it up. Like, he's overtaking all those players, but then he's just going to get hit if any one of those has an item, because he's unprotected now, and if IOREP has an item...
He squished his orb, let's go, Needpit first.
I mean, okay, I guess he was lucky. It really worked out for him well there, but that was definitely that was a very risky move. This could have gone badly, but of course, none of them had an item, so I guess it was a good play. But yeah, that could have gone either way, really. Yeah, he should definitely grab some Wumpas and yeah, get 10 Wumpas as soon as possible, because if he has 10 Wumpas, he can just basically back bomb people here and snipe them, or just back spam with nitros and red beakers and stuff, or even get a blue shield. So if he has 10 Wumpas, then first place.
Let's go.
First place becomes very dangerous if you have 10 Wumpas, and I think actually he managed to hit someone with a back bump. Yeah.
He managed to hit someone.
Yeah, it wasn't HFC, but one of the other Arabian players.
Arabs, yeah. Like one of the Arabs, you have heard a shield behind Nitpit exploding, so the Arab behind him, like, he was certainly trying to shield him.
Yeah.
With a shield, but he missed.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess sometimes you just gotta take the risks. Like, a big part of playing CTR competitively is taking risks. Like, you can never be sure that something is gonna work out 100% guaranteed, simply because RG is a thing. It just is. But it's not necessarily a bad thing. But, of course, sometimes you take risks and it's gonna work out for you. Sometimes you take risks and it's not going to work out for you. And that's just what CTR is. And in Needpit's case, he made the right choices in lap 1 and he claimed first place, basically.
With a crazy lead, look at that.
It's actually interesting, like, why did he place the beaker not in the shortcut? Because the shortcut itself is so narrow and it's so hard to evade items, but he just placed the beaker on the item set before the shortcut.
Ok, en el cornering del final hay una nitro.
So
yeah.
It looks like a win for the Arab team, unfortunately.
Yep. Again, it looks like a win for the Arabian team. But then again, I think Archer might overtake Doom if things go right, because that orb was actually pretty good.
And
no, okay, unfortunately not.
No, okay. Again a win for the Arabs.
And yeah, I think I'm pretty sure that the red beaker actually hit Archer. Yeah, the red beaker hit Archer. So basically that beaker, there was probably a miscommunication happening, but it seems like Archer actually hit that red beaker, which caused him to be overtaken by Doom. Oh, okay, so okay, I see. Yeah, that explains it. Because I was wondering how Archer got overtaken, but yeah, if a misplay like that happened, then yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. But you know, when you backspam, you gotta communicate. Like,
there are so many things happening.
yeah, of course.
Or you tell your teammates and then forget. That happened to me 100
Yeah,
times.
yeah. I
They
mean,
forget.
it
Also
happens to
myself,
me
or
as
something,
well. It
yeah.
happens to
Or
me as
sometimes I
well.
don't hear. Yeah, I don't register what they are talking because I'm focusing and
Yeah,
concentrating on
yeah,
something.
yes,
And then
yes.
I hit the item, plays
Yeah.
my own team.
That's definitely true. Like in CTR, there's just so many things happening at once, and you need to adapt to everything that's happening. Like you need to be aware of your item rules, of your Wumpas, of the map. If there's anyone approaching, you need to listen. If there's a mask approaching, and then if someone of your team calls out something, oh, there's a beaker behind the second crate from the right side after the STP. You're just gonna go and forget that because there's just so many other things going on. And sometimes things just elude you completely.
Next up we have Oxide Station. What do you say about Oxide Station though?
And then again, sometimes people are just like, da ist eine Kurve. That happens as well, I guess.
It's very difficult when that happens.
Yeah, yeah, when someone calls out that there's a corner coming up ahead.
Yeah, Gamma, we are waiting for your opinion on Oxide Station.
My opinion on Oxide Station. You don't
When
want.
it comes to competitive play.
Oof. It's one of my least favorite tracks. I guess.
Jordi will have hate.
Yeah, Jordi wants to have a word with me if I say that, but I mean, I think my main issue with Oxide Station is basically two things. For one, there's only one STP, and second, the fucking lap glitch. It's just so annoying, and unglitching yourself just takes so much time. And like, if you get hit off of the ramp after the STP, like you can safely assume that you lost 20 or 30 seconds straight up. And I think the ramp after the STP just makes this track just extremely unbalanced, because if you fall down there, you skip a checkpoint, or the game thinks you skip a checkpoint, and then you have to unglitch yourself, but that just takes so much time because you have to fall down twice. And stuff, and yeah, it loses just so much time and makes the ramp a very cheap spot because you can just place an item there, and if someone falls down, you're just gonna lose time for free, basically.
Like, personally to me, that never happened. Like, I had one time, that glitch happened to me and it was in Dragon Mine. That's it. Like, that never happened to me personally. But happened to my teammates twice. And I couldn't access station. I don't see that frequently, but when it happens, so unfair, so unbalanced.
Yeah.
Broke.
I've had it happen a couple times to me.
It ruins the game, yeah. It ruins the game. Really so bad.
If I'm... Wow, okay, that missile actually managed to get Need Bridge. That's pretty insane. I guess that missile was juiced up, because juiced up missiles can actually follow you over gaps because of their higher speed. They can actually make jumps. Like, they don't jump in that sense, but yeah, they can basically cross gaps if they are juiced up. And I guess that missile was juiced up, because if the missile is unjuiced, it's usually gonna explode somewhere.
And we are seeing top 3 for the Arabs right now.
Yeah. And I think almost the entire top 4 is protected by shields now. Yeah, okay, the entire top 4 is protected by shields now. First place has a shield, second place has a shield, third place has a shield, and fourth place also has a shield. So from now on, yeah, from now on, this is gonna be a very defensive race. It really just comes down now who gets the better power items. Considering that the Mexican team has more players in the lower spots, I guess they are more... Oh, okay, there's actually an orb coming from Angel. We can see that the Nitro Crate, which is Angel, has fired the Warp Orb there. It's juiced up, as we can see, but wow, okay, that's kinda unfortunate. losing the blue shield right as Archer was approaching with a mask.
Me dio. Fucking shit, mate.
Yeah, that was a bad misplay because yeah, Needpit now lost 2 positions basically.
Entonces sí.
And HFC getting a second or swear to god, this set is a shield set. This is
Yeah, yeah.
Con lechón.
I mean, if the Saudi Arabian team can keep these positions,
Te hubieras comprometido con
then they
México,
won the
mamón.
set. Like after that
Yeah,
race,
they
because
won.
there's no way for Team Mexico to come back if they get these positions.
I mean, this whole set so far, like, is actually one-sided.
Yeah, it has been pretty much.
Decently one-sided, not painfully one-sided, but they had some close races.
Yeah, yeah. It's basically dominated by the Saudi Arabian team. They have been winning almost every single race, and those few races that Mexico won, I think it was only 1 or 2 races that they won. They only won by like 1 or 2 points, and it's just such a minor difference.
En mi pantalla no me apareciste.
I mean, they fought well, to be honest. I mean,
Yeah.
the Arabs are like so strong, actually.
Uy, cuidado, una
I
negra ahí
mean,
cerrada.
Ay, no, no la vi.
it's not a like. It's actually a nice effort from the Mexicans. They are just too good. It's not a
Yeah,
shame to
yeah.
lose against
This
the Arabs, not
was
so much
almost a top 4 for the Arabian team. Yeah. This is a 17-point win, so that's actually quite a lot.
Sí, un solo orbe ha servido, güey. Ala, ese sí estuvo culero, güey.
Pega a nadie, literal.
But then again, the point difference still matters for the ranking at the end, because you know, among countries that have the same amount of wins and losses, the countries are basically ranked based on the point difference. And I think Mexico should still try their best to keep the point difference as small as possible. But yeah, that's really as far as it goes now, because they have officially lost the match now.
Sí, no, yo, no, yo la regué.
The only thing that they can do now is reduce the damage, basically.
You get some more points.
Yeah, and get some more points to keep the point difference as low as possible, but the win is out of contention now.
Es que son bien la neta, los árabes son bien cerdos con los hits.
Far, they don't need
Fallan
to
ni
fear.
una,
Let me check.
No mames.
So
yo
far,
creo que ni-
Like the 2 teams that need to
No,
fight
estaba bien difícil porque estábamos recién.
for the survival,
pasando la
basically,
meta, güey, donde está
is
bien angustillo.
finding first. Okay, there we go. Okay, so far, the bottom 2 are Spain and Australia.
Pero queriendo
Mm.
And then we have like Peru and Latin America like leading by only like a small difference. So
Yeah.
those are actually the 4 countries that have to fight for the survival,
Yeah.
for the seeding. Mexico is actually 5th on the table.
Yeah, as far as seeding
Really need to
goes,
fear.
I think most positions, like, I mean, we are in round 4 already. Obviously there are still a couple sets that are going to be played, but I think for the most part it's pretty clear who's going to advance to the group stage and who is going to go out. There's a few contenders for countries that are not going to make it to the group stage.
Porque luego te dan un supermotor caro.
But for most other countries, like, they are already pretty safe. It doesn't matter if they win or lose, like, they are advancing basically, because there's no way for them to drop back to the last place. So, like, for example, Germany. Germany, we have 3 wins already. And for us, it doesn't even matter if we now win against Italy or if we lose and then lose again in round 5, because we are basically guaranteed to make it to the group stage at this point. So, and that's the same for most teams right now.
By the way, so Talia, we are trying to get a second commentary.
Going to comment
the-
Peru
yeah.
versus Costa Rica at 4 a.m.
No.
Yeah,
we are
that's
trying something else now.
a bit difficult for me.
Yeah. We are trying something else now.
Yeah, we will try to work out something else.
qué estás aquí, Yotzi? No.
Ay, me salió TNT y me mataron.
We are seeing Nitbit like struggling in the beginning. He lost a lot of time.
Oye, ¿a quién snipearon?
I mean, he had a slow grass cut, which isn't usually what you want to have, but yeah. I mean, oh wow, was that a...
Los mataron a los dos.
Wow, that double bomb by HSC, wow, that was really good. And Needpit with the really good grass cut,
Yeah,
overtaking
let's go,
wow,
Needpit,
that was a really good grass cut right there. Like he hit the perfect spot. It lost fire, but it's no big deal since there's a pad coming ahead. But unfortunately, gets bombed. Well done by IOREP, I think. Yeah, it should be IOREP.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I just call him Orb.
Yeah, he is called IOREP, I think. But yeah, really well done by IOREP to just taking Needpit out there. He shouldn't go for the grass cut here because he doesn't have enough reserves. Yeah, and he knows that. Okay, nice awareness that he doesn't have enough reserves to just go for the grass cut. It's also pretty good since it allows other players to overtake him, and if someone from the enemy team overtakes him, you can just shoot him with a missile. Also for anyone who's wondering, the shortcut is banned. The shortcut is banned because of desync issues, like especially if countries are pretty far from each other, the shortcut often doesn't open even if you hit it, and for that reason it's banned in competitive play. We see another,
Evasion by Needpit.
yeah, we see another really good grass cut by Needpit here.
Like the evasion before that, before the
Yeah.
shortcut, like between the red beaker and the flame. Insane.
What? No se paró.
Oh wow, there's a lot of items there. Yeah.
Wow.
And I think he's gonna get that player. He should put the nitro right ahead of him.
Está imposible pasar.
Nice, and he got him with the nitro. We could see it on the minimap, but unfortunately he gets taken out by another teammate and gets comboed.
Oh. By his own
Yeah,
teammate.
it was a good effort, but it backfired. Yeah, the juiced up super engine not really going to do anything here because lol,
Estuvo buena.
bad item.
¿Qué onda con esa poción? Ay, yo sí me la como, ¿no?
Another super engine. Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate, these item rolls. I mean, that mask will prevent him from falling to 8th place, but I think
Again,
yeah,
a
this
win
is
for the Arabs.
another win for Saudi Arabia. And yeah, I mean, well, what can I say? Saudi Arabia wins this set pretty decisively.
One of the strongest team in the world, so it's not actually a surprise.
I mean, there are a few contenders for being the strongest team in the world, but it is true the Saudi Arabian
One of the
players
strongest.
have many top players, and definitely a contender for being the best team in the world, for sure.
Ah, aquí está.
And like I already mentioned, Sotalia, we are trying to cover all the matches
Yeah.
of the World Cup, and 4 a.m. is for us just simply like
Minus
too
62.
unfriendly.
Oh my
Like we
God.
can't like stay up like that. Oh, we could theoretically, but the commentary wouldn't be
Yeah,
the
that's
best, so
a
it
pretty
doesn't
strong
make any
point.
sense.
Yeah.
We would ruin our sleep cycle for nothing. So we are working on something.
Never mind.
I mean,
Risas no
to
cuentan.
recap this set quickly, we see Saudi Arabia winning by 62 points. That's actually quite a lot of points, considering that we only played 8 tracks. This was a very decisive set by the Saudi Arabian players. They played really well. We've never even seen them team killing each other. Like, we've seen many misplays from the Mexican team in terms of like hitting teammates and communication errors and just doing driving mistakes. But we haven't seen many of those by the Saudi Arabian players, and it really shows the difference.
So I can have something to eat.
And yeah, so this was definitely well played by the Saudi Arabian players. Like, what else do you want to say?
Yeah, deserved win. Mexico played well. I mean, they fought well against such a